One nation under crippling international sanctions has built the most widely deployed combat drone on Earth. A weapon so cheap it costs less than a used car, yet so effective it has reshaped warfare from Ukraine to the Red Sea. The Shahed 136 is Iran's most dangerous export, powering proxy wars across 4 continents. This is how a sanctioned nation turned a simple drone into a global weapon of mass disruption. The Shahed 136 is built for one purpose: reach the target, deliver its payload, and do it cheaply. Its silhouette is unmistakable, a delta wing stretching 2.5 meters tip to tip, with a compact body measuring between 2.7 and 3.5 meters in length. The airframe is constructed from composite materials, often fiberglass panels with a honeycomb or polyurethane core. This design keeps weight low and radar visibility minimal, while also allowing rapid, low-cost manufacturing. Russian-assembled variants have swapped out honeycomb for denser foam, a move aimed at cutting costs even further. At the rear, a NATO MD550 piston engine provides the thrust. This is a 4-cylinder, 50-horsepower unit, reverse-engineered from the German Limbach L550E. The engine drives a pusher propeller, pushing the drone forward at a cruise speed of 180 to 185 kilometers per hour. With a fuel-efficient flight profile, the Shahed 136 can cover more than 2,000 kilometers in a single mission, staying airborne for up to 11.5 hours and operating at altitudes between 60 and 4,000 meters. The warhead sits in the nose, typically a high explosive fragmentation charge weighing between 30 and 50 kilograms, but Russian Geran 2 versions have been documented with heavier tungsten shrapnel payloads. The drone carries no seeker optics in its baseline form, relying instead on pre-programmed inertial navigation and consumer-grade GPS and GLONASS modules for guidance. Some upgraded models feature satellite communications, AI processors, or anti-jamming antennas, but the core system remains simple and robust. Launch is handled by a 5-rack truck-mounted rail system. Each launcher can send a salvo of drones into the air within minutes, supporting massed swarm tactics. The entire system is designed for mobility and concealment, making it difficult to detect or destroy before launch. This engineering approach, modest materials, off-the-shelf electronics, and efficient propulsion forms the backbone of the Shahed 136's global impact. Subscribe and hit the bell. This channel covers the weapons, tactics, and technologies reshaping modern warfare before the mainstream media catches up. A single Shahed 136 costs between $20,000 and $80,000 to produce and field. That figure includes the engine, the composite airframe, electronics, the warhead, and labor. Even at the upper end, $80,000 per drone, the Shahed remains a bargain compared to the price of the weapons sent to intercept it. A single Patriot PAC-3 missile, the backbone of many modern air defense systems, carries a price tag of $4 million per round. IRIS-T interceptors, often used alongside Patriots, cost between $380,000 and $450,000 each. The math is stark. At its most expensive one, Shahed 136 can force the launch of a missile 50 times its own value. If defenders rely solely on high-end interceptors, a swarm of 100 drones, an attack now routine in Ukraine, can drain hundreds of millions of dollars in minutes. This cost-exchange ratio has reshaped procurement strategies across Europe and the Middle East. Ukraine's 2026 defense budget earmarked $2 billion just for air defense missiles, while NATO partners have shifted billions more toward counter-drone programs. Analysts at CSYS and other defense institutes warn that using multi-million-dollar interceptors against low-cost drones is unsustainable over time. The economic logic behind the Shahed 136 is simple: overwhelm the defender not just with numbers, but with a relentless assault on their budget. Mass production becomes the logical choice, allowing attackers to launch waves of drones that force adversaries into impossible spending decisions. The Shahed's affordability is not a side effect, it is the foundation of its doctrine. Iran's pursuit of self-reliance in drone technology began in the crucible of the Iran-Iraq War. During the 1980s, engineers at HISA and affiliated defense institutes produced early prototypes like Karar-1 and Qadir-2, both featuring the delta wing and rear pusher design elements that would later define the Shahed 136. These first-generation drones were limited in range and capability, but they established the basic formula: simple construction, off-the-shelf components, and a focus on affordability over sophistication. The program accelerated after December 2011, when Iranian forces captured a US RQ-170 Sentinel Stealth UA-5. Satellite imagery from March 2012 shows new fabrication bays under construction at the Hessa complex south of Isfahan, coinciding with the arrival of the RQ-170 airframe. Iranian engineers studied its avionics and airframe, drawing lessons that informed upgrades to guidance systems and low observable shaping in later Shahed models. By September 2015, further expansion at Hessa included large-scale composite layup facilities, supporting a shift from small-batch prototypes to industrial-scale manufacturing. Production infrastructure grew even as international sanctions tightened, with nightlight data from November 2021 marking the onset of round-the-clock operations. The Shahed 136 was publicly unveiled that year, signaling Iran's transition from improvised workshop drones to a standardized, export-ready loitering munition. These milestones set the stage for foreign partnerships and the global proliferation that would follow. In early 2023, Russia signed a $1.75 billion contract with Iran for Shahed 136 technology transfer and kit delivery. The deal authorized shipment of 6,000 drone kits and the setup of licensed assembly lines inside Russia. By mid-2024, Russian officials reported a production rate exceeding 20 drones per day, with factory output concentrated in the Alabuga Special Economic Zone and auxiliary sites in Tatarstan. Nighttime satellite imagery over Alabuga documented a 30% rise in industrial lighting between March 2023 and September 2025, indicating continuous manufacturing activity. By September 2025, Russian sources claimed daily output had reached 180 drones, supported by local fabrication of engines, navigation antennas, and servo motors. On September 7, 2025, Russian forces launched a single-day salvo of 805 Shahed 136 and Geran 2 drones, a number corroborated by Ukrainian air defense telemetry logs. This surge in production was made possible by a workforce that, according to investigative non-governmental organizations, included more than 1,000 foreign laborers. Leaked visa records and court filings describe the recruitment of underage vocational students and foreign workers under questionable contracts. Human rights organizations raised concerns about working conditions, but direct access to factory floors remains restricted. The industrial scale of Russian assembly lines built on imported kits and locally sourced components set the stage for massed drone attacks that would soon overwhelm regional air defenses. Ukraine's defense ministry recorded nearly 4,000 Shahed 136 launches through 2022 and 2023, with documented peaks exceeding 1,000 drones per week by early 2025. On September 7, 2025, a single-day barrage reached 805 drones, an unprecedented scale confirmed by Ukrainian air defense telemetry. Even with interception rates hovering between 85% and 90%, over 100 successful strikes per week landed on logistics hubs, substations, and civilian infrastructure. In the Red Sea, Houthi-aligned forces have relied on Shahed variants to disrupt maritime traffic, causing a 70% reduction in commercial vessel movement since late 2023. Israeli and Lebanese airspace has seen similar saturation tactics. This included a 170 drone salvo by Hezbollah in April 2024 and a combined campaign of 1,000 drones and 550 missiles in June 2025 that temporarily overwhelmed Israeli early warning systems. The Shahed 136 family has evolved rapidly on the battlefield. The B variant introduced radar-absorbent coatings for limited stealth. By late 2024, C models incorporated satellite communication terminals, extending control ranges far beyond line of sight. The D variant, first documented after a June 2025 strike in Ukraine, features an NVIDIA Jetson AI processor, an infrared seeker, and advanced anti-jamming antennas, enabling autonomous terminal targeting. Each upgrade cycle has been confirmed by forensic labs analyzing downed drones, with serial numbers and component logs charting the timeline of enhancements. Through massed launches and continuous technical refinement, the Shahed 136 has become a persistent, adaptive threat across multiple fronts. Iranian officials have publicly claimed that their drone stockpiles number as high as 80,000 units, with a daily production capacity of 400 Shahed 136s. Forensic analysts and satellite imagery, however, suggest a more complex reality. Trade manifests and customs records rarely align with these figures, and independent estimates place actual output far below the official claims. Yet the resilience of Iran's production ecosystem is not in doubt. The supply chain for Shahed 136 components stretches far beyond Iran's borders, relying on a network of intermediaries and opaque logistics. The critical electronics, microcontrollers, GPS modules, and navigation chips come from Shenzhen's electronics markets through Hong Kong's re-export hubs and into the free zones of the United Arab Emirates. From there, shipments are split, relabeled as civilian or industrial goods, and forwarded to assembly sites in Iran and Russia. Customs data from 2023 to 2025 show a sharp rise in shipments of navigation modules and industrial controllers, many of which match the part numbers found in downed drones across Ukraine and the Middle East. Forensic labs have traced these supply lines by matching serial numbers and packaging styles, revealing a pattern of deliberate mislabeling designed to bypass export controls. Policy analysts have called for expanding dual-use export control lists to cover the specific microcontroller families and GNSS antennas used in loitering munitions. They argue for closer intelligence sharing with customs authorities in China, the United Arab Emirates, and Turkey, and for mandatory end-use verification on all relevant exports. Despite these recommendations, the current system remains porous, allowing Iran's drone factories to sustain mass production and replenish battlefield losses with remarkable speed. Right now, a $20,000 drone can force nations to spend millions to defend a single power plant. As low-cost munitions multiply across borders, the economics of warfare shift beneath our feet. The next arms race is not about who builds bigger weapons, it is about who makes them cheaper, faster, and everywhere. Subscribe to Tomorrow's Warfronts for more breakdowns. Until next time.